Snap! Welcome to the first ever post Breath of the Wild release Patreon update. That's the actual name I'm going to go with for this one because it's just such a significant event. But speaking of significant events, this past month we got over 430 new Patreon pledges, which is huge. No matter how small or large your amount that you pledged, I just wanted to say, for how much time you're pledging. You may even just pledging for the 1 month. That's a huge gift to us. We just wanted to make sure we said a big, hearty thank you to all of you who signed on and pledged this past month, and everybody who's been pledging since the very beginning. But this past month was just a huge outpouring of support, and we just wanted to throw that right back at you and say, cheers.
Yeah. A lot of people were pledging for the first time because of the visual novel incentive that we offered.
Marek and Bakura go to Censored Town.
Yeah. And
a lot of very talented people worked on it.
Yes. You should check out our previous videos to get all of their information. But yeah, the first round of emails that I sent out on Valentine's Day was close to 600, and that was pretty insane. And the second, this last month was, like we said, over 430, and I think it took me about 10 hours to get through everyone's information, but I'm pretty sure I got everyone. If you haven't received your email yet and you are a patron and nothing got declined or whatever, post on the Patreon page and I will be happy to help you out with getting you hooked up with that visual novel if you confirm your age as being an adult.
Speaking of hooking you up, I'm going to be hooking myself up to the stream this weekend, the monthly Patreon stream that I always do, where I mumble to myself and you guys watch me play video games or show videos or edit videos, whatever I choose to do that month in particular. And this week's is going to be March 18th at noon PST, which is 3 p.m. EST? EST, is that right?
Yes.
I always forget because I don't live there.
And right now I think it's 7 p.m.
That's
GST.
right.
GMT.
Right, yeah, because I actually, you'll know from if you watched We're Still Here recently, that I woke up super early to record with my friend X the Dark One. And I woke up too early because it turned out with Daylight Savings Time, we were at odds and I could have actually slept in and gotten a couple more hours kip, but it didn't work out. Cheers, X.
I remember how exciting this time of year was when you and I were dating, because I was like, one less hour of difference. Oh.
Long distance relationships, guys.
Don't do it!
But do it, because it worked out.
Yeah, but don't do it. It sucks.
Don't do it.
Speaking of long distances, though, we, this weekend on Sunday, are leaving for Shanghai and Bangkok. We're going with a couple of friends.
Very afraid.
So we get to room with them, and yeah, we got
saved up a bunch of miles on our flights, because there was one time when we were able to delay.
It was like we volunteered our seats up, and they gave us a ton of money, because the Sundance Festival was that weekend, and they needed to fly people in and out.
And they had to maintain their good customer relationships, and we were one of those relationships that they maintained, so we're taking advantage of that.
So we're going to be gone from the 19th to the 28th, I believe. So during that time we will...
There will still be videos coming out. I should point out, I have produced a few videos to be released that week while I'm gone, so the hiatus will not be that noticeable, but there will be a bit of a hiatus on production there, unfortunately.
When we get back, since the first quarter of the year is over, we're really going to be reevaluating our release schedule and our production schedule, because Martin has some ideas for new content that he wants to come out with.
And I'm trying to focus on content that I can make as a solo creator without completely overwhelming myself. Because I don't know if you noticed, but I have been overwhelmed multiple times within the space of my YouTube career, just because I take on more than I can handle, and we're trying to reduce the amount of delays as well as not put too much of a workload on my shoulders, because I mean, even with the extra editors and everybody, it's a lot of work for basically a one-man production team.
Well, and it's more people to pay, and we want to make sure, everyone gets paid fairly, and that means that it's difficult to be able to hire as many people as you want. So we're going to focus on trying to figure out how long some stuff will take to make on his own, and so that might delay things.
Throwing together a few pitch episodes to see what it's like. Don't want to talk too many specifics, but one thing I can talk specifics about is the release of the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episode, which I'm sure a lot of you are here to hear about, and that's going to come out mid-April. That is confirmed. Unless some huge disaster happens, mid-April is when you should look for the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episode. It's 74, and I had somebody on Twitter do the math, and he figured out that there will be around, on average, 105 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, so I'm pretty much 3/4 of the way through the series at this point.
Congratulations.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
3/4 of the way through the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters anime.
But with that being said, I think it's also safe to say that from now on, since we've been maintaining this schedule for the last year and a half-ish, I'd say closer to a year, maybe a little bit over, we've been releasing Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episodes every other month, and I think it's safe to say that we can expect that to be our current, release pattern from now on.
I hope you've noticed, and I hope you've enjoyed the frequency of releases. I did the more math again, and
that's a lot of math.
I know, and in the last year of production, I've released more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged than I have in almost a decade. Like I mean that, like since 2009 or so. So that is to me that's huge, and that's because of you guys. That's because of the pledges and because of the support and the patience that you've had. So thank you.
And we do want to say that with all of the production rearranging, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is and always will be the #1 priority on our schedule.
Even though I'm going to be workshopping new ideas, it's not going to affect the Yu-Gi-Oh! Production schedule whatsoever. And we, as you'll know from what we've discussed in this video, the hiatus for our vacation, when we're gone for just over a week, that is not going to affect Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged either, because it's still coming out mid-April. Yeah,
it's already to the editor, and they're going to be doing the work on that. Well, the rest of the work. We do have to kind of rearrange priorities elsewhere. You have sort of been talking about in your videos that We're Still Here is kind of getting more and more difficult to maintain.
It's not so much that it's difficult to maintain, it's my state of being that's difficult to maintain when I'm focusing so much on We're Still Here. It's been a very helpful series for me. If you don't know, I've been dealing with depression over the last 3 years or so, and it's affected both of us. It's affected a lot of people close to me. But having said that, I'm at a point within my recovery that I think that weekly We're Still Here's are going to have me focusing way too much on that part of my personality and my mood and my emotions and my feelings, and I gain a lot more from not doing that so much. So rather than doing that series weekly, we're going to be making it the first week of every month, the first Monday of every month, and then we might do more depending on how things are going, if I have something very specific I want to talk about, or maybe if there's a guest one, if somebody guests on it, like if you want to do one or if a friend wants to do one, then I'll probably release another one within the rest of the month. But
that's not you.
For myself, I'm just going to be doing them the first Monday of every month, and I do apologize if that's difficult for anyone to hear. I understand, but just understand that I'm not going anywhere, and the series isn't going to be put in the, it's not going to be put out of its misery. It's just going to be less of a focus.
We also are going to have to reevaluate weekly Mark Remarks. We're not sure how those are going to fit into
the new production schedule, depending on how the workshopped content goes.
Yeah. But that being said, we will still do the 4 major pay-per-views every year.
You'll be seeing WrestleMania coming up as soon as we get back from the vacation.
Mm-hmm. And I think you'll still try and do weekly ones or Mark My Words or something like that in the interim, but we really want to try and freshen up the channel a bit more and see what other stuff you guys might be interested in.
Yeah, I'm trying to workshop content based on what you guys have shown interest in and what you've responded to. So what I'm working on will hopefully fall in line with your interests.
As always, guys, thank you so much for your pledges. They're greatly appreciated. Honestly, we would not have been able to make this a full-time job without you guys. And it is a full-time job, especially for you. Like, I kind of do a lot of stuff, but you're always plugging away.
I'm 5 days a week. Room. 5 days a week?
5 days a week. 5 days a week. 8 to 10 hours a day. Looking at cartoons. Life's pretty hard, you guys. But it's not that hard, because we're in Hyrule.
Yeah, it could be worse. We could be in Termina. Snap! Snap!